a tradition of their own.
Yes, they did. Yes, I am somewhat aware of that.
Oh, cool. I just didn't know if you knew it or not.
Yeah, and in fact, my family came from Scotland, then to the Virginia colonies, then to Decatur, Illinois, then Salt Lake City, and then to California, and then I was born in Seattle. But I can trace a very clear line, actually, back to what I believe is probably the Knights Templar, the Freemasonry, and that type of thing. Although I'm not involved in any of that, I can tell you I just intuitively sense it, and I know it's probably something to do, again, like I say, with a past life memory.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And did you study that tradition as well, or did you just kind of stick to the local tradition that you had available to you?
Well, I talk about some of these things in my book to be real quick about it, but I think that we all are connected to some tradition, some native tradition, indigenous tradition. I think we all go back to these small families and units, and we absolutely, all of us, I think, can trace at some point a connection back to this type of mystery.
John, tell me why you believe that this is all happening now.
I believe that we go, as many have shared, no doubt, through 4 ages of time. We go through, an Iron Age, a Bronze Age, a Silver Age, a Gold Age. The only thing is, I would say, is that I probably agree more with Michael Cremo and his ideas of human devolution. I believe that there was a Garden of Eden, that we had full consciousness. We probably didn't have a lot of choice, and it was a bliss state of mind. And a fellow by the name of Richard Heinberg wrote a wonderful book on this theory too. But so we come from this golden age that we devolve from. So we go down to the bronze, the silver, the iron. We're coming now out of the Iron Age again into bronze, what was called by the Hindus the Kali Yuga, the age of materialism, and we're now building our way back up. So that's what I believe is going on. There were just, as Plato suggested too, all of life is a remembering.
First-time caller line, Steve in Jupiter, Florida. Hi, Steve.
How you doing today?
Great. Thanks, Steve.
All right, listen, I'd like to share an experience with you I had, back in the mid-'80s before I found out why I would stop breathing in my sleep, and also get a clarification because I tuned in a little late and didn't hear what some of the callers were saying about things they were feeling were going to happen on the West Coast. But I went through a period where I stopped breathing in my sleep and had a few experiences where at first I'd stop breathing, and it still would be like a consciousness, but I would realize that I was just, no capability of moving, no breathing, no nothing. And it was kind of scary and kind of strange. But then on other occasions, I would actually leave my body and look down and realize what was happening. Fortunately, I didn't want to accept it, and I'd be like, saying, breathe, breathe. But it was really different to be kind of above my body and seeing what was going on.
That's the classic, projection of out-of-body experience. I had that spontaneous as a child when I was in grade school. I would, for example, go through an athletic event and be exhausted, and then I would lay down back when I got back in my home and suddenly find myself on the ceiling looking back down on my body. That's a pretty classic event, out-of-body experience, but also what you're experiencing is sleep paralysis. I've also experienced that, but when I was younger, not when I got adult. I did not have that anymore. It was a very frightening experience, but what I did was always tell myself to go back to sleep. Immediately I would say, you're having a lucid dream, go back to sleep. I would relax, go back to sleep, and within minutes or an hour or so I'd wake up and I'd be integrated. What you're experiencing is your consciousness leaving, basically, you're becoming unhinged from your body, so to speak, and that's what you're experiencing.
Thank you. I kind of tuned in a little late, but I'm going to be going to the West Coast a little bit in the near future, and in terms of maybe what you're feeling or some of the other people have been feeling about maybe upcoming events on the West Coast, I kind of missed that.
Well, Steve, if it'll make you feel better, I'm going back to the West Coast next week.
Yeah, and if that makes you feel better, I've got a 30-year-old son that's a medical software engineer in Seattle and refuses to leave Seattle. So, yeah, and he's well aware of all these prophecies and predictions, too.
We're going to be right back with John Jay Harper, and we'll take final phone calls next. Well, on our next Coast to Coast program, we're going to be talking about emotions with George Vallant, and you're going to love that Coast to Coast show. When we come right back, we'll take final phone calls with our guest, John Jay Harper. John Jay Harper, you know, John, life is too short. About an hour ago, I got a instant message from a friend of mine. Her boyfriend, who truly was my friend, just died in a motorcycle accident.
My gosh.
Gosh. That's how quickly life goes. I just got a couple messages from him a few days ago. Sent him as a gift. He just got engaged and sent he and his girlfriend down to South Beach about a week ago as a little present. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had those moments, too many of them, really. And I know it really just hits you right between the eyes. Your heart goes out to everyone, and you just realize, like I say, that you got to, live in the moment and, hope for the best.
I hope I haven't missed a beat with you tonight, John, because that's been on the other side of my head tonight.
No, we're doing great, George. I know that our listeners are really tuning into our conversation and really sensing that we're talking more and more from the heart. And, I've said this before, I think this is why I love doing your show.
Okay, back to the calls. Let's go west of the Rockies. We've got you, Kevin, in Fairbanks, Alaska. Hi there.
Hi. Forgive me, I'm getting nervous.
That's okay, Kevin.
It's so honorable to hear somebody talking from the heart. I'm almost in tears. It
Good,
is really,
Kevin.
Truly what life is about. John, you're a authentic human being. George, you do a great job on the show. My heart goes out to you for the loss of your friend.
Thanks.
I want to say to John that it is an honor to see someone that can articulate all the different aspects of becoming more of who we are in this day and age when people are trying to put so many different spins on it.
Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that insight.
And I hope that what we're doing tonight on the show is very helpful to people. Have faith. There is a larger thing at work. It's so large to me that it's almost incapable of understanding, but that doesn't mean that we can't appreciate it and be grateful for it and acknowledge that we're a part of it.
All right, great. Thanks, Kevin. In the long run, John, I think good will win out over evil all the time.
Absolutely. Evil self-destructs because it doesn't nurture anything.
In your dealings with the shamans, did they have different techniques or were there some similarities between them?
Well, of course, the common theme is this altered state of mind that we naively call trance. And unfortunately, trance has got a bad rap throughout the centuries in a lot of the religious communities because we're afraid of letting go. But I do agree with them that we have to use discernment, we have to use caution, and you do need to be with someone you trust to become initiated in this way. But, absolutely, we're dealing with ancient truth, and we're just trying to recollect, this higher sense of self that we're all part of.
First-time caller line, Fargo, North Dakota. Hey, Bert, go ahead.
Hey, good evening, gentlemen, or good morning. Fantastic show. The evidence is real clear, gentlemen, that the mass consciousness works and that mind control works, and the evidence is clear as the stuff that we get jammed down our throat, the fear, F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real, that we are doomed. It is so nice to hear something positive again.
It sure is.
And, gentlemen, there's something that I have discovered that is so simple recently here. About a month ago, there was a kite day at the library here in town. And here were all these beautiful kites up in the air. And you know what? As soon as I saw them, I just stopped and I said, that's it, to myself. I started flying a kite. I flew a kite today for 7 hours. Big, beautiful kite, 40-foot tail. And
I love it.
You know what? Those that aren't flying a kite become participants when they look at it.
You bring back